Recently, I received a standing request from my office's leadership to create a daily product that displays information about COVID-19 hotspots and trends worldwide so that they can have situational awareness about potential crises in areas of interest. An ArcGIS dashboard, like this one, is an ideal tool for the job. It brings together news articles about the pandemic with outbreak trends by country, and the top 10 emerging country hotspots to give leadership key updates and analytics, all in one easily navigable interface. Perhaps the best thing, though, is that with ArcGIS Notebooks, we only have to configure this app once. After the initial configuration, we can automate 80% of the process of populating this dashboard and update it on a schedule by seamlessly integrating a few powerful coding tools with web sources and our organization's data feeds. This saves time and gives analysts the freedom to focus on applying their subject matter expertise and putting their effort toward analysis projects of long-term strategic importance. Let's see how to do it. Today, we're going to be using what are 3 of the hundreds of Python libraries built in to the Notebooks interface. We'll also employ several of the features of the ArcGIS API for Python, including mapping and geocoding. When I started thinking about creating a COVID-19 situational awareness product for my team, a couple of tables embedded in this New York Times article, tracking the global outbreak, caught my eye. They're updated at least once a day and include information about the countries with the greatest number of recently announced cases relative to their population in the last week. Interesting metrics, and I thought they might be perfect for identifying where the virus is getting worse. At first glance, this data seems inaccessible to us because it doesn't have an option to export the data, nor does it include any coordinates. But with a little help of Python scripting in ArcGIS Notebooks, we can make this data usable for ArcGIS and incorporate it into our dashboard. To do this, we'll use pandas. It's a popular Python package for dealing with tabular data, and we'll scrape the data from the website in just a single line of code. With that, we have a usable table of the top 10 countries in terms of recent COVID-19 cases per capita to help us understand those virus hotspots. Now, let's geocode the countries so we can map them. Using our ArcGIS API for Python, you can geocode any spatial address field, even broad country names like we have in the country column of our table. The geocoder can still assign them latitude and longitude locations, no problem. Here, we're using the batch geocode functionality to process all of the top 10 countries at once. When we join the results of our geocoding back up with the table that we extracted from the New York Times website, this is what we get: coordinates set for all the hotspot countries. We can put those coordinates to use by adding the table to our portal contents and publishing it as a hosted feature service. We can then visualize our results right here in the notebook with the numerous base map options and smart mapping functionality that automatically creates graduated symbols for us based on the distribution of our selected field. In this example, it's recent cases per 100,000 people. When we print it, notice that the web map is still interactive, as if we were viewing it in the browser of our ArcGIS portal. Already here, we've created an interactive and informative dataset about COVID-19 hotspots, a process that took us fewer than 20 lines of code and mere seconds to run. Along with this information about recent cases per capita, we'll want to make sure our final product offers our leaders and customers additional context about COVID-19 trends and related news. By navigating to the Add pane in our toolbar, We can bring in data sets from our own content, our organization, or the Living Atlas, and the code will auto-populate for us to do so. Our first layer of interest is called COVID-19 Trends for Countries. And with a click, we can add it to our notebook. This data layer is based on daily analysis of the Johns Hopkins University outbreak data. We can add that to our map by using the Add Layer functionality of the Map widget. And we can also set the visualization to a custom color scheme that we created in order to match the theme of our final dashboard. Finally, we'll use auto-populated code from the toolbar again to add a near real-time feed that's internal to our organization. It was created via a simple geo-event service that pulls news articles about the pandemic from the Global Database of Event, Language, and Tone, or GDELT. When I update our map with these 3 layers, it'll have the most current information. This is fed right back into our dashboard, where leadership and customers can see the updates. We have a new hotspot in Armenia, and I can learn more about it. Since this is a persistent product that I want to support in the long term, all I have to do to keep it updated as a notebook user with the Schedule Notebooks privilege is create a new task. A task is just a way to schedule the execution of a notebook, so it'll go through all of the steps we just outlined on its own, without us having to come back in and manually run the notebook. We'll call this one COVID-19 Situational Awareness, and we won't set any parameters. Then we can set it to run on a daily basis just before our leadership arrives in the morning. And with that, it's scheduled. All we have to do is monitor our app. We can even share this entire notebook with colleagues so that it can serve as a way to capture and disseminate tradecraft. In this case, we automated the process of collecting, updating, and visualizing our data in an app for COVID-19 awareness. But we could do the same thing with any data set of interest, like Chinese missiles or conflict in Africa, giving analysts more time to examine emerging patterns and trends and report on their insights. The ArcGIS API for Python and ArcGIS Notebooks are tools that you can bring from home to the high side, regardless of your mission.